Hi, I'm Debbie Harbeck, and I'm a certified life coach working with women in midlife and through the menopause transition. So each week, I'll be sharing the latest information, inspiration, and generate some momentum so you can move forward and feel more in control of your changing midlife body and your life. Let's go. Hi, and welcome back to the Midlife Momentum podcast. And I have a question today. My question is, can you love getting older? And I believe you can. I think you can, but I think it takes a shift in perspective. And it made me think this week because we did lose a fashion icon in Iris Apfel. So she died, she was 102. And she had a quote that I read this week and that I really love. And she said that too many people wither on the vine. And that, yes, life does get harder in some ways as we get older, but new experiences and new challenges keep it fresh. And I think she lived her life that way. So taking what she said and using her own life as an example, I think we can love getting older if we accept that getting older means our bodies will change. Our faces will have more wrinkles, and we may have a few more aches and pains, but we can still experience new things. We can be involved in things we enjoy doing, and we can live a very active and vibrant life. And on this podcast, so if you've listened to previous episodes, you'll know that I always ask my guests, what's the best part of getting older? And most of them answer with some version of, I can do more of what I want without caring about the opinions of others, right? So I think we need to take that and apply it to ourselves, regardless of how old you are. Let go of your own opinions of what you think you should be doing or what you think it should look like, and just live. And today I want to share, I think I have like 5 ways here that we can get older and love the experience. And the first one, I think that's super important and that Iris Apfel actually mentions is to challenge ourselves. So I think if we don't try new things or we don't get out of our comfort zone ever, that's when we wither on the vine, as she said, right? We've got to try new things. We've got to challenge ourselves, not only physically, but mentally, in order to keep growing and to make life continuously more interesting. So I was talking to a man in his 80s this week, and he said, I don't get it. Every day I get on my stationary bike for 20 minutes, but I'm not seeing anything improve. So our muscles, like our mind, if we don't challenge them, they won't grow and you won't get stronger. At best, you'll stay the same. So your muscles adapt to what you do. At first, when you start doing something, they'll be sore, as we're all familiar with, because the exercises are new. But after a few weeks, those muscles will already have adapted, and you'll need to change things up if you want to continue to progress, if you want to continue losing the weight or increasing your number of push-ups, or even if you want to do the splits, you have to continue challenging yourself and not just doing the same thing over and over again. You won't see the results. But I know we all get into ruts sometimes. We all do. We get into a routine that doesn't move us forward, and it keeps us feeling stuck where we are. And a lot of older people fall into the trap of routine. I did an episode recently called Comfort Entitlement. And it's exactly that. We feel like we've done all the work in our early life. So now we should just be entitled to coast the rest of it, right? Which we can rest on the laurels of what we've done. But life, like a meaningful life, a vibrant life, doesn't work that way. To me, the moral is to not burn yourself out when you're younger, because you still need to use your body and mind as long as you live. It needs to continue to be challenged and grow as long as you live if you want to love this aging process, which is inevitable, hopefully, for most of us. The second thing I think we can do is to focus on the present. And I think age can bother us sometimes because we start thinking about the future and we see examples of the future in our parents or other older people around us, and it can scare us, honestly. And when we're scared, we are weak. And it's not from that place of being scared that you're going to take a lot of consistent action. So I believe the best thing we can do is to stay in the present moment, to not worry about the future or reminisce about the past too much. It doesn't mean you never do that, but don't go there frequently. We need to stop doing that. And I know this because I was a big time worrier in my very early life. And I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but when I was in elementary school, I had all kinds of digestive issues that stem from my anxiety about school and my performance at school. And in hindsight, I am glad that I had this experience, although it was tough for me at the time and for my family, especially for my mom. But it taught me not to sweat too much of the small stuff. And it also made me realize how much is really outside of my control. All I have control over is what I do in this present moment. I practice meditation just as a reminder to live here right now, to come to this moment, because it is a reminder that this is all there is. It's such a simple thing, but it helps to calm you down and to not get so caught up in what hasn't yet happened. So even if the present moment is tough and you're struggling right now, know that you're learning. Take it as a learning experience and know that, like everything else, this too shall pass. The beauty of life, which is also the part most of us have a lot of trouble with, is this: nothing ever stays the same. So enjoy what's here right now, even if it's tough, because it won't last. The third thing I would say is to find people who raise your vibration. So having people in your life who lift you up, who keep you active, who don't act their age, whatever that's supposed to mean, and who aren't talking negatively about their age. I mean, these are the people you want to get older with. We're all getting older. And although, yes, it can be tough, it doesn't mean that there isn't beauty in it, that there aren't new and wonderful things to explore, or that you can't challenge yourself to do something completely unexpected from time to time. Surrounding yourself with people of all ages, those that are older than you and younger than you, who have this kind of spark for life and who are looking forward with excitement to things rather than dreading things. Those are the ones you want to hang out with more often. I know we all know people who make everything feel like a struggle, and that kind of energy will age you. It will definitely drain you, but it will make you feel older. But there are also people of all ages who just seem to have an ease with life, no matter what they've been through. They're either quiet or they're flamboyant, but they have this kind of way of looking at life and this ease and the joie de vivre that just keeps them feeling young, and you just want to be around them. Being around them can actually keep your spirit feeling nourished. And I was thinking about this when I was watching that Netflix special about the Blue Zones with Dan Buettner. He was talking about these social connections and that how important they are as we get older. They're actually just as important as what you're eating and the exercise you're doing when it comes to aging in a healthy way. So surround yourself with those healthy connections with people, and you have a much better chance of aging in a very good way. So number 4, I say give yourself examples of women who are aging with ease and grace, or who are doing amazing things as they age. So another Netflix special, yeah, I guess I spent some time on Netflix. If you watch the movie Nyad, you'll be familiar with Diana Nyad, who swam from Cuba to Florida nonstop when she was 64. But it was her 5th attempt. I mean, she had tried this several times and almost died. Or maybe you've seen in social media, there's this woman, Joan, and she has, I think it's called Train with Joan. And she started weight training at 70, and she's completely changed her body and her health because of it. Or I just happened to notice Oprah, actually, she's now 70, right? She's running on the beach. So that was really like, wow, she's looking fantastic. And I have a friend, Susan, who's in her later 70s. She's still running marathons, and she actually regularly attends my yoga classes because she wants to keep challenging her balance and keep herself injury-free. So all these women, they all amaze me. And for sure, I want to be able to move and participate in life as fully as they do as I get older. And then, of course, there's Iris Apfel, who just passed this week, as I mentioned. And she just had this vibrant style, these big glasses. For sure, you'll recognize her. She was modeling up until super recently, and she was a designer most of her life. I would have loved to hang out with this woman just for a day and just been in her energy. I just love to see these women and men too, who are defying their age, who still have big, exciting goals for their lives. I just want to keep these people in mind as I move forward in life. It doesn't mean that life will be problem-free. For sure, none of them have had an easy time of it if they've lived that long. But it does mean that they've built up some resiliency, and they always have a choice to look at the positive side of life, and they put that out into the world. Now, maybe when you were a teenager, you did something similar where you put up posters on your wall. Like I had a poster of Bono and U2, which I really loved. I think I might have had a poster of Scott Baio at one point, which is kind of embarrassing, but true. And now if I was to put posters on the wall of my bedroom now, I don't know if my husband would like it, but if I was to do that, I'd probably put these women on my wall. I would love to wake up to their energy every day. But I don't obviously have posters on my wall, but I'll do the social media equivalent of following them on Instagram so that when I do open my Instagram, and I'm very careful about who I follow, these are the kinds of people that I do see. And that does help increase my energy. And finally, I think number 5 would be to keep yourself curious. So when you stop asking questions, I think you really start to fade inwards. I don't know if we stop asking questions because we think we already know everything or we've already been there, done that, which is completely untrue because there's so many things that we don't know. But I think we have to stay curious, and that includes listening to what others have to say, young people and old people, and being open to so many points of view. And with this curiosity, I think you're a lot less likely to dwell on your own problems and your own struggles and your illnesses because you're consciously wondering about the world and the people around you. You have this constant sense of wonder. And for many, as we get older, I think the world becomes smaller. We lose the sense of wonder. And I think that the secret is to keep that curiosity and keep asking questions. So if I keep challenging myself, and if I keep staying curious about the world around me and other people, and if I surround myself with others who can lift my vibration, and hopefully I can lift theirs, and if I can limit the time I spend with those who are bringing me down, and if I continue to focus on this present moment and enjoy spending more time right here, then I think I'll be able to continue enjoying getting older for decades to come. I think I'll actually love my aging process. And I also want to acknowledge that you and me, we're truly fortunate right now to be aging at all. Not everyone gets the opportunity to be 51 or 65 or 83 or 102. So if we can actually appreciate that this is a privilege to live as long as we have so far, that some haven't made it this far, that can also go a long way to loving this age that we're at this very moment. So with that thought, I want to thank you for listening to this podcast episode today because I'm just always so grateful that you chose to join me. And if you enjoyed this episode, if you found it valuable, I'd love you to rate it on Apple or Spotify or whatever platform you are using to listen. I really, really appreciate you and appreciate you being here. And I'll be back next week with a fresh new episode and a guest. So keep moving forward and bye for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Midlife Momentum Podcast. If you want to learn more about working with me, come visit me at debbieharbeckcoaching.com. That's Debbie, I-E, Harbeck with a C, coaching.com. See you next week.